Right, it looks like our numbers have began to trickle down, so we can go ahead and get started. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. My name is Cody Brandon. I use the he series of pronouns, and I serve as the graduate assistant for the Office of New Student and Family Programs here at Duke University, meaning I have the honor and privilege to welcome you all to Duke University later on this fall. This is your first time joining us. Welcome. This is not your first rodeo. Welcome back. We host these weekly webinars to ensure that we're getting information from our campus experts in front of you all. Today, we're joined by some fine colleagues from our DukeCard office, Information Technology office, as well as our Duke Technology Center. And so I'm going to go over a few housekeeping rules, if you will, to get us started today. Then I'll pass it over to my colleagues. And so, as you all are aware, we are going to be using the Zoom webinar feature today. We're going to ask that you ask your questions in the Q&A feature as the chat has been disabled. Some questions will be answered via a typed answer in the chat. Some will be answered out loud for those who are watching us live here today and those who are watching this recording back in a few days from now. As I just alluded to, the webinar is recorded, so you can find that in our NSFP website where you are registered for today's webinar, as well as our NSFP YouTube page. Please just give us about 72 hours to upload that transcript and have it uploaded there. I think that's all I have to get us started today, so I'm going to pass it to my dear friend and colleague, Brian Lowe, to get us started on DukeCard.
Thank you, Cody. I'm Brian Lowe. I work at the DukeCard office. So with your DukeCard, we have a mobile DukeCard. So as you go online to the DukeCard website, dukecard.duke.edu, or through the Blue Book, you can upload your photo, and then there'll be kind of some email prompts that'll walk you through how to do your DukeCard and add it to your actual phone and your device. So your DukeCard is your official ID for Duke University and pretty much your key to campus. Your Duke card provides access to everything from campus and academic and administrative buildings, athletic events, to your residence halls. And then your Duke card also has accounts on it, so food accounts, flex accounts, so you can use those for anything dining related, adding food. And then you can also go to the Duke stores and use your flex account and purchase Duke memorabilia or technology solutions or anything that you would like to use on campus so that you don't have to carry credit cards or cash or other forms of payment. Um, it's an all access pass, so everything is on your phone. You don't have to cut your phone on. You literally just, once you get it provisioned, you'll see it just like on the screen right here. It'll have your name, it'll have your photo, and it'll let you know some quick kind of little reference accounts, flex, food, ePrint, how you print documents on campus, and everything that's secure and convenient to make sure that you have everything on you and it's on your phone. Cody, if you go to the next slide. So with your mobile Duke card, like I said, anything access related, all the way down from residence halls, academic buildings, university facilities. You can use it for anything on campus, food, if you just want to grab a quick snack or coffee at the vending machines, and any campus purchases at any of the stores or any of the locations across campus. We also have locations off campus that we consider merchants on point, so you can have food delivered from off sites to campus as well. Your Duke card's always on you, it's always on your phone. Even the newer phones, even if you have a battery drain or anything of that nature, it has enough battery backup to still access the locations on campus that you need to using your mobile credential. There's a QR code on there, kind of goes into more detail. Like I said, on dukecard.duke.edu, there's a whole section for new to Duke, and it's got a first year section that kind of goes in detail for each step, adding your photo, provision it to your phone, getting you up and ready. That way, on day one at move in, you already have your phone active, you already have everything ready to go, so you can actually come to campus, and instead of having to get a card or anything, you're ready to go with everything that you would need. In addition to a mobile Duke card, we do offer every incoming student a plastic card. The plastic card is a non-functioning card. It's really just an ID only. And in the state of North Carolina, it's also used for voter registration and to actually vote. But that gives you two solutions to have an ID to present to keep on as a keepsake. And then your mobile credential will actually use everywhere on campus that you would need to. That's pretty much it from DukeCard. And I'll pass it off to my friend Sam.
Sorry, I'm just realizing I'm muted. Thanks, Brian. I am Sam with the IT security office here to give you as much information as I can in a short period of time. There is a lot that goes into IT security, but it is more important than ever. Ways to protect your account, just really quickly, you want to use strong passwords. The longer the passwords, the harder it is to crack. We do recommend passphrases now. Um, we do want to use unique passwords. Do not reuse your passwords. There is a website called haveibeenpwned.com. You can go in there, type in your email address, and it'll show you different breaches that you may be a part of. I myself, who I stay vigilant. I do my best to stay as secure as possible. I have been a part of plenty of breaches. There are huge companies like Capital One, AT&T. If you're parking in downtown and use Park Mobile, they have all leaked information about me, from my a copy of my license to my password, username, phone number. Like they've leaked a ton of information at no fault of my own. These are just companies that deal with breaches, right? Um, if an attacker gains access to your password, there are automated tools that they can use to crawl the web and use to try to get into different accounts. So, uh, cannot recommend enough to use unique passwords for everything. If you're like me and have 100, 200, 300 passwords to keep up with, that's near impossible. We do recommend a password manager. One Password is free for staff and students. It is free while you're at Duke. Once you leave Duke, I believe it's $10 a year to stay with One Password. If you're using a MacBook, there is the password manager on Apple devices that is very, very good too. We do recommend using that for One Password. Duke Unlock. It is a biometric login. Biometric logins are more secure. They are a form of passkey. You do want to use Duke Unlock if you can, if you want to. Basically, what that is on Windows devices, you have Windows Hello, which has the facial recognition and fingerprint. And then on Apple devices, you do have the fingerprint option. It bypasses having to type in your username and password. You use your biometric login. Don't have to deal with MFA. You're in. You do have to register it for each browser that you're using on each device. It takes less than 30 seconds. I promise it's worth it. It'll save you time in the long run. Never share your credentials. I work with the IT security office and I will never ask for it. No one will ever ask for it. Uh, you don't have to share it with anyone. If anyone asks for your credentials, please reach out to us. We are here for you. We're here to help you in any way. Protecting you is our job, right? What we can't help with, though, is protecting your personal devices. We can do our best, but that does fall on y'all. IT security is a group effort, is a community effort. We all have to do our part, right? So you do want to protect your personal devices if possible. With antivirus, really these days, what you want, MacBooks historically have done a pretty good job. They are not foolproof. You still need to stay vigilant. And then Windows has actually done a lot to come up to par. They've invested a lot of time in Windows Defender, so you want to make sure that Windows Defender is enabled. Um, it does a pretty good job now. Updating your iOS device, your OS, your Windows, you do need to update the operating system itself, but not just the operating system, the different applications that you use. Zoom frequently has updates. Adobe, some of the different pieces of software that you'll use, they do have updates of their own. They should be updated as frequently as possible when they come up. It's just another measure to make sure that your personal device is safe. Phishing emails. So we do get phishing emails. We do receive them. We receive 100 to 120 million emails per month. We do have software that does a great job automatically blocking most of them before they even reach us. Roughly 60% of them are blocked from the get-go, right? It is nearly impossible to block everything, though. So if there's ever an email that you are finding a little sus or you're questioning, please do report it. We do have an automated process that it goes through to see if it is or is not a fish. And then we also have myself and my teammates, also our interns, that can take a look at it and deem if it is safe or not. If our software abnormal can't make a decision on it. We do also send out simulated phishing to our students. It's a fun little challenge. That's all it is. We're not really keeping track of who clicks on who doesn't. It's just a teaching moment. I am the one that sends it out. I do make the template. So if you ever want to yell at anyone, yell at me. And lastly, we do have a ton of guides and just advice on our student security basics page. You can go there for quick tips and guides. It is security.duke.edu/students. And then if you ever have a question, ever need more information, we are here. There is always someone on call. We'll do our best to respond to you as soon as possible. And our email is security@duke.edu. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it over to Grant now.
Right. Thanks, Sam. My name is Grant Martin. Hi, everyone. I am the IT manager over the computer program at Duke Stores. We are your on-campus provider for all your technology needs. So if you're in the market for a laptop, we're here to tell you what we have to offer for you. Uh, the five main points for us are on the screen there on the slide. The main one being the access to the loaner. So when you buy from us, you'll have access to a loaner for the duration of any repair that's needed. We work hand in hand with the OIT help desk in the link. You'll learn more about that if you haven't already. So you'll be provided a loaner for your device while it's getting repaired. We also work with programs like Duke Life. So if you're part of the Duke Life organization, you can reach out to them for any specific information. But we do partner with those. Um, yeah, so we basically try to make sure that any device that we have to offer for you meets Duke's minimum criteria for working and operating on campus. So that's really all we have. I'm going to pass it back to Cody now for our Q&A session.
All righty, thank you so much. I am actually, before we get into the Q&A, going to pass it back to Sam. They had one more note to add for their presentation.
Thanks, Cody. Sorry about that. I did want to briefly touch on the change that happened last week, where VPN was required for Duke Hub. Really, it was just due to an emergency change until patching was made, and then it was disabled right after. That's really all that it was. Thanks,
Okay.
Cody.
Of course, you're welcome. I'm also going to pass it to Sinisa, who has a couple of words to share as well.
Hi, Cody. Thanks. Camille, thank you for bringing that up. I don't have any fancy slides, but I do work with the OIT service desk. I just want to let you know what services we have. Grant mentioned us real quick at the Perkins Library, lower level. If you need anything technology related, please come see us or call us or chat with us. I don't have a fancy slide, like I said, but we do have a magic website. It's oit.duke.edu. Everything related to OIT you can find there. The magic tab is Get Help. That's how you can reach us. We are available for walk up through phones and chats. We do have loaner equipment. If you're going to go on spring break and you want to bring a camera with you, we have that for you. You can get that link also on the OIT website. Um, we can help you with anything, like I said, technology related. Um, Password resets can't get into your classes. Having an issue with Clear has been implemented here at Duke. If you have issues with Clear and verification, please come and see us as soon as possible so we can get that taken care of for you. Again, you can reach us at oit.duke.edu. Thanks, Cody.
All righty, thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over into our Q&A section. And so we have a couple of questions in the Q&A. The first one reads, where can we see the recommended computers for Pratt students? On the website, there's a form, but very few details.
I can take that, Cody. For Pratt specific machines, I would recommend reaching out to their IT department. They're heavy with the use of a system called SolidWorks, which does not work on MacBooks. So we're going to highly recommend a Windows machine. If you do have a MacBook, don't spend another couple $1,000s on getting a new machine. Duke has a system called VCM.duke.edu, which is the virtual computing system, where you can create a VCM and add SolidWorks on there. But highly recommend reach out to Pratt IT or your professor over there first before purchasing anything.
Thank you. And I believe you may have just been getting at this since about asked this one as well for the group. Do you recommend a MacBook or Windows machine for an econ major?
I'm gonna flip back to talk to the IT department at Econ. They have one there. I don't see um, a difference. I don't think there's any specific programs that have to be used on a Windows machine there. Um, I'd say 75% of the population at Duke students use a MacBook. and I have not heard anything except for the SolidWorks over at Pratt.
Thank you. Are there any other questions out there for those who are watching this live currently? Feel free to drop them in the Q&A section. I have a question that reads, when is the Duke mobile card available?
So your mobile Duke card you can get as soon as you have your Net ID and you have your Net ID password set up. You can actually go online to the DukeCard website, and there's a link on there for get your mobile Duke card and follow the prompts. It's also part of your housing and dining section. So when they send that communication out, we also send you links of when to do that. But you can do it at any point in time. First step is going to be to download your photo, and it'll give you the steps. So on dukecard.duke.edu, there's a link at the top for new to Duke. And if you click the first year student section, it'll give you all those steps of how to submit your photo, how to download your phone, and also get your phone prepared and make sure you got your iOS up to date, similar to what Sam was saying, and making sure some of the other check boxes are available for your Android or your Apple device or your Samsung. And then once you get that provisioned, everything will be ready to go. You'll actually see your phone, your card download into your wallet. So you actually see your photo, you'll see the Duke card, and then kind of the other things that go along with the Duke card. But you can go ahead and do that, like I said, once you have your password and your Net ID set up.
Thank you, Brian. One more question for you while you're still here. What happens if you lose or damage your phone? Can you then just use your plastic Duke card?
So if you lose or damage your phone, we have a walk-up service desk. Like Tanisha said, we're at the Lincoln Perkins Library. So you would come to that location and our customer service reps will work with you and try to see what the solution is. If the phone's completely not usable, then yes, we will print you a physical card. The ones that we're providing at the time of move-in August is a non-functioning card. So that's really just an ID only, just kind of like your driver's license, just to kind of show and present at certain locations. But we do have a way of issuing you a physical Duke card if you need one, or if your phone just stops working, or if you feel for a safety concern, you just like to have one over a phone. We have solutions to get you a physical card.
Thank you. Do students need a phone that has 512 or 286 memory?
The memory doesn't change on the memory because it's literally just adding like a token or a credit card to your wallet. So it's not really storing anything. There is an app on there. So we use what's called a Transact e-accounts app. That's our partner in doing the mobile credential. So with that app, you're also able to manage your account. So you can see how many food points you have. You can see how many flex points you have as you're kind of using those transactions. And then you can also add funds to it by a credit card. So on your Flex account, if you're down to $20 and you want to top it up and add some more, you can always do that. But there's no limitations on the phone. The only limitation really is the version of the phone. So it's usually a newer, I think it's iPhone 16 and above, and then certain iOSs. So you always have to keep your iOS up to date. And that's a safety and security best practice for the university as well as those apps to make sure that they function correctly across campus.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Couple of more questions that have came through. Is Duke GBT the latest version of GBT? Is it equivalent to the GBT Pro plan besides the additional privacy protections?
Sam, I don't know if you want to jump in here about the security stuff on this, but so Duke does have a student license for ChatGPT as long as you're not Duke Health related. Um, as far as the limitations for that go, I can't answer that right now, but if you want to shoot me an email, I will get that for you. You can just email it to sh285@duke.edu, and I'll dig that into you and reply back to you.
Thank you. Another question that reads, do you automatically start with the money on it, the Duke card, like a food plan, or does this summer do we add money directly to it?
So your dining plans, like you referenced, you sign up for a dining plan that's added before you move in and it'll be set to go and be active. With your flex, you actually have to add the money on there. There's nothing that's automatically added as you do it. So it's kind of add and use as you go. The positive thing about your flex account is it will stay on your account your entire experience at Duke. So every year that you graduate, you continue on as long as you're still a Duke student, that flex funds stay on there. At any point in time you have to step away or you graduate, those flex funds are refunded back to your bursar account, and then it's applied towards any payments of your bursar or refunded back to you. So you do have to use it, and it's by credit card online. So you can go onto the DukeCard website, or once you get your mobile DukeCard on there, you can use the e-accounts and add by credit card as well. And the other cool feature I'll add to adding funds, we also have a way for parents to add to a student's account. So if they go to dukecard.duke.edu, and in the top right hand corner, there's a section for the e accounts. If you log in, you can log in as a guest, and parents can add money to an account just by knowing the unique ID number of the individual and the first and last name. And then just using a standard credit card as well, they can make a payment towards their student's Flex account as well.
Thank you. Another question that reads, can you register for multiple Duke Unlock on different devices?
Absolutely. You can definitely register Duke Unlock on different devices. You do have to go through the registration piece of it each time on each device for each browser. Uh, I know that sounds like a lot, but I promise it's a very quick process to go through and register your device. So you can set it up on your iPhone, you can set it up on your laptop. I have it set up on Safari, I have it set up on Edge and Google Chrome. So there are plenty of resources there. And then if I may, Cody, there's one more question there for me. How safe is 1Password? 1Password is very secure. It is widely considered as one of the more secure password managers. It does utilize a zero knowledge architecture. Like it's the data is end to end encrypted, so it's encrypted before it even reaches 1Password servers. It's very well secure. Like you get a number of words that you use uh, to authenticate yourself when adding it to a new device. Um, and what we recommend doing is saving that in a secure place, or even printing it out and keeping a physical copy. Um, it is extremely safe. If it's reassuring at all, it's what I use. Uh, I don't let my parents choose their passwords anymore because it's always my name or one of my brother's names in the password. I do manage all of their passwords as well. There's a family vault. It is easy to share out shared passwords in that sense. So it is pretty secure. Hopefully that was enough to answer your question there.
And there's also another question here in the Q&A section that says, do you need to use the push press or its equivalent to log into the Duke Hub, or is there a way to make it just username and password?
So I think I can take that one too. Um, I believe that's regarding Duo Push to log in, MFA. That is an option. You can definitely use that. If you don't want to use MFA, you don't want to use Duo, Duke Unlock is a different option. However, I would recommend having Duo there just in case. That way you always have an option on your phone. You don't have to, if you're on a different device and you need to log in, you have your password memorized and you go into log in, I would just recommend having on Duo as well.
Thank you.
Sorry, Cody. There's one more piece to that. There is the option for if you don't want to install the Duo app, there are YubiKeys. You can find more information on our website. YubiKeys are also like the physical things that you can connect into your device and use that to authenticate for the multi-factor portion of it.
Thank you, Sam. I believe we are typing up this answer as well, but I just want to show this out for the crowd, those who are watching live and watching the playback later on. But can you speak a little bit more about Flex onto the DukeCard, please, Brian?
Yeah, so Flex, similar to the question there, it's similar to Cash. So you add to your Duke card. That way, most students and faculty and staff, you always have your Duke card on you. You always have your phone. Some locations on campus may not take cash. Some of them may not take credit or debit, but every place on campus takes Flex. So you can use it in addition to your food points. So you can use it at vending machines. You can use it at Duke stores. So you can go to the university store and buy T-shirts, or you can buy other equipment or other office supplies if you need them. You can pretty much buy anything with your Flex account. You can also go to the technology center and buy the technology solutions that they have there. Some vending machines across campus have different things from power cords to charging cables, different things that you need on a daily basis, and your Flex can use. So you just always have to go online and add it. Through the eAccounts app, you can always see your balance and what you're kind of spending it on. There's also a way in the eAccounts app to go back and look at your transactions, kind of like as a receipt holder, and go back and see what you spent it on to kind of keep track of the funds of whatnot. If you have any questions, you can always come to the office and look at it, but your transactions are always available. But we just encourage people to put Flex on your account because Flex can be used anywhere across campus versus, like I said, some departments like ours, we stopped taking cash years ago. So everything in our office is debit or credit or a Flex account. So it just makes it a little easier to buy the things that you may need in addition to your food points and the other kind of financial accounts that you may have.
Thank you. All right, I do not see any other active questions in the Q&A, so I'm going to pause it there unless, Sam, you had a point to add.
Yeah, I saw that there was one other question. What is Duke GPT, and what's the difference between that and the regular Chat GPT? I did answer that with a link to get more information on our Duke website. It does give you a little more information about the differences. Basically, Duke GPT just gives the community more of like a secure. It's university managed, so that information isn't being shared out with OpenAI. Um, so it's a little more private, if that makes sense. There is more information on that page. It does also give you quick links to related services and tools like Microsoft Copilot. We do have access to that to a degree. And this is a ever evolving space. We are still in the infancy of AI. There will be more changes to come with AI and what Duke students have access to. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye out and maybe check that page a little more frequently. Thanks, Cody.
Thank you. And so I do not see any other live Q&A questions in the chat, and so I'm going to close it out here. Should you all have any further questions, feel free to send them over to studentorientation@duke.edu, and we will be sure to share those out with the respective campus partners to get your questions answered. As I said earlier today, the webinar for today will be recorded and uploaded into our NSFP website where you are registered for today's webinar, as well as our NSFP YouTube page. Just give us about 72 hours to upload that transcript for you all. That's all that I have for you today. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.